disconnect really quick and be in the moment. There's been a lot of inner conflict recently, and what I mean by that is I feel like just like these mosquitoes attacking me, there have been a lot of chaotic thoughts sent my way. And I know I'm a very magnetic being, right? But the levels of distraction and mental unbalancing have really made me understand just how heavy projections are. And I was nodding off to sleep last night, and I even started to hear whispers to me. And I'm like, I'm literally playing solfegial frequencies for change so that I'm not focused on so much of the past. And then that just completely like woke me up out of my sleep. I was like, no, there is literally something being sent towards me, and I do not consent to it. I'm a sovereign being, right? And just as these mosquitoes have tried to land on me, tried to take literally blood from my veins and feed off of it, that's the same thing that happens to every single person. You could let the negative thought or the projections or the mosquitoes or whatever's being sent towards you feed off of you, or you could just not accept it. You could swat it away. You could say, I'm protected by the Holy Spirit, and I do not allow or invite in any of this energy. I don't consent to it. I'm a sovereign being, right? And as I'm walking on this sacred land, right, I'm noticing just how much nature has to balance for the grass and the plants and the weeds and the dirt and the mosquitoes and the clouds and the rain and everything that is around. Everything here has to coexist in some manner, in some way. Some of it is a delicate movement and a delicate embrace. And others, they have to push and move things out of the way just to live. And I'm reminded that oftentimes we don't get the chance to just be love and light. We don't get the chance to just forgive those freaking mosquitoes. We don't get the chance to just forgive and move on. We have to remember the balance and the order and the nature, the very nature of things, and remind ourselves that it's okay to push and to, push off you or push away or move past energy that is harmful, destructive, or seeking to hurt you. And I think that oftentimes with spirituality, with religion, with society, with family structures, we forget just how important it is to be in our own energy, in our own space by ourselves, and just not allowing projections, negative thoughts, or whatever someone is trying to attempt to harm you with. We don't have to invite that in. We don't have to allow that in. And I think for a lot of different people in a lot of different places, they're fine with coexisting with the things that are trying to harm them. And I think it is with this meditation and this walk here that was on sacred land, right? I think it's important to remember that you don't have to let things get in the way of your peace. You don't have to let what other people are doing with their bodies or with their ideas or with their practices get in the way of what you know is healthy for yourself. You don't have to follow the world that's choosing to live unnaturally and poison itself and be out of balance with nature. You don't have to live that way. You don't have to live that way. Hello to the two in chat. Thank you. 4 thumbs up. Wow. 2 people in chat, 4 thumbs up. Very interesting. And secondly, the second part of why I wanted to go live is I want people to know that you could be an angry person and still be righteous. You could be an angry person and still be received in a holy manner. You could be an angry person and still get the benefit of the doubt, because what you do with your anger is what matters, right? If you're using your anger to pursue justice, if you're using your anger to fix a problem or have someone else help you fix a problem, right? Civil rights, any civil rights leader, they use their anger from the racist actions or racist words that were being said, and they chose to lead people out of that anger and into justice, into change, into progress, right? What did the indigenous do? They used their anger to remain sovereign. If you are a native indigenous person living on colonized land, every single day you have to use your anger for things that will fuel your health, things that will fuel your spiritual practices, things that will fuel your community, right? Anger is a very powerful tool. Anger is a very powerful tool, very potent, very powerful. It's freaking mosquito again. But very powerful tool. And the more people understand that, the more they could work with that. Because sometimes people take their anger and they're like, oh, I'm a detriment to society, I'll never be anything, and they crash out, right? You see that all the time. People actually encourage violence and anger so that they can get it out of their system, instead of saying, you know what, I'm angry and I don't quite know the root of my anger yet, but I'm going to use it as a tool to fuel my passions and my pursuits. Not too long ago, I used my anger and my uncomfortability to fuel my studies and drive me towards finishing my certification. I got that certification. I almost finished a whole notebook worth of notes. And I have now ordered business cards to be able to start consulting. So, excuse me, I'm sorry, I keep touching my nose. It's very humid out here. Dry air. A little bit dry air. But the moral of what I was trying to say was that, people really don't understand how powerful they are, right? What's another way of someone being able to use their anger? Pain. Pain. A lot of people are actually in pain and they disguise it as anger. A lot of people are in pain and they actually disguise it as sadness. And it's not really something that people are taught to dissect. People are taught to feel shame more than they're taught to feel pain. People are taught to feel anger more than they're taught to feel pain. People are taught to feel joy more than any of those emotions I just named, obviously, but A lot of people suppress what they're feeling, and it creates layers and layers and layers and layers and layers of feelings and trauma. And I'm saying this literally from the perspective of someone who is certified as a personal trainer. Oh, look at all those lightning bugs. Oh my gosh, that's literally so cool. Wait, I don't know if you guys can see that. It looks like a little light show over here. Oh my gosh. That is so cool. Literally, that's so cool. It looks like a bunch of fairies. But anyway, so what people have happen is they have layers upon layers upon layers upon layers upon layers of trauma and emotional baggage or emotional weight. And then that weight physically creates a density in their body, and that density in their body creates a sickness. Right? I didn't even touch on fear. You know people who don't address their fear and they just swallow it? All of them have back pain and back issues, lower back issues, lower back problems. All of them have some sort of hip back issues, right? Another thing that I was talking about, grief and heartache. So many people who just swallow and, shove down grief and heartache, they literally have heart problems. Literally have heart problems. And chest palpitations and whatchamacallit. What's the other thing? They start to lose their sight, literally. More little glow lightning bugs. It's so cute. And another thing is neck stiffness and neck tension. So another major thing is people who don't address their traumas or their sadness, right? Like we were talking about, or their anger. They get frequent migraines, frequent headaches. They get neck and shoulder problems, back problems, right? They get swollen ankles. Literally, you could attach an emotion to a body part, to a feeling, to everything that's wrong with them. Literally. If there was a certification for spirituality, I would have had it by now. Trust me. But everything is connected in the emotional body, in the physical body, in the spiritual body. Everything is connected. And people don't want to realize this. They'd rather be complacent. They'd rather be comfortable. They'd rather be stuck in their emotions. When all an emotion is information and energy passing through you, right? People want to talk about religion, talk about how there's one solution, there's one savior, there's one God, there's one everything, and if you don't align under this, then you're just wrong. You're damned. You're going to hell. You're lost. And it's like, there are so many different people in this world who are facing tragedy and loss and heartache. And I'm getting mosquito bites literally on my hands now. They resorted to stinging my hands. I just had to push a freaking mosquito off my hand as I was talking. Anyway, I'm not gonna wear gloves outside. I'm covered from head to toe everywhere else. But anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, there's people who want to take religion and just compile it and say, you know what? You're either good or you're bad. That's it. They'd rather not delve into their emotions on a deeper level. They would rather everyone else just be wrong and terrible and damned. instead of addressing that pedophile in the masses, instead of addressing those cheaters in the church pews, instead of addressing those money hungry, lying, manipulative people in the congregation. They would rather give all of their power and authority away to one thing or one figure instead of actually confronting themselves and asking themselves, why do I want to play it small? What is it within me? What trauma have I gone through that makes me shrink down instead of confronting things? What is it about me that makes me want to turn people away and just tell them to go to church and read their Bible and pray? Knowing that some people are repeating offenders, knowing that some people had the trauma happen to them and they're just passing it forward. And the cycle and the cyclical, sick-minded nature of that person is just going to keep trickling down. This mosquito followed me, that's crazy. I like being outside, but it's so, I don't like bugs. It's the only thing I don't like about the summer. Like, if I were to go outside and guaranteed there would be bugs, but they wouldn't land on me or interact with me, I'd be fine with going outside. But it's the fact that I have like 20 different mosquito bites on my body from the last, from less than 12 hours of me being outside. There's literally a mosquito in my ear just now. And I think that people just need to take accountability more. I think that this age of Aquarius and all of the planetary alignments. Oh my gosh! Literally, it just landed on my freaking wrist. Or the back of my hand. That's crazy. Mosquitoes are being bold now. But yeah, I think that the more often and the more that people take accountability for themselves and stop repeating cycles, the less that we would have to deal with in terms of backlash or spiritual psychosis or karmic cycles or generational curses. And I think that, if you want to go the route of believing in demons and saviors and persecutors and right and wrong in that aspect, then you kind of have to ask yourself, where do you stand? Are you siding with a demon or a savior? Are you confronting yourself at the end of the day? Do you even have enough awareness to know, hey, I might slip up and fall there. Hey, I might lose balance. Hey, I gotta turn around. Hey, I gotta step away from these people. But people would rather be blind and comfortable and sick because other people around them and society as a whole has convinced them that it's okay to be blind and comfortable and sick. When in reality, you don't need a congregation. You don't need people to agree with you. You don't need to fit into a crowd. You don't need to follow whatever society is doing. You don't need church. You don't need to go through all this religious rituals or things that you feel you need to do. You don't need to do anything but be yourself at the end of the day. And then you need to ask yourself, who am I? Truly, who am I? At the end of the day, when you have no family, No money, no friends, no relationship, no distractions, no possessions, not even your feelings. Ask yourself, who are you? No job, no status. Oh my god. A mosquito honestly scared me. It sounded so close to my ear. But don't get lost with the message here, right? Who are you at the end of the day? Who are you? When the sun goes down, when the crowd disperses, when the lights turn off, who are you? Who are you? Without what you were taught, without your spirit guides, without your belief system, who are you? Are you someone who's aware of what's around you? Or are you someone who's just around those who are not aware? Who are you? Who are you? It sounds very funny to say over and over and over. And maybe it sounds funny said out loud, but this isn't a comedy show. I'm not doing a stand-up. I'm being serious. Who are you? When you're triggered, when you're frustrated, when you're isolated. Who are you? Do you notice the little things? Do you pay attention to the signs? Do you sit with nature? Do you breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth? Do you remember that you once came from a drop of water? You used to be a clump of cells. You used to be a newborn. You used to be someone's hopes and dreams. You used to be the talk of the town. You used to be someone that people would wonder, what are they gonna grow up to be? Who are they going to shape into? What profession are they gonna go in? All these questions and more. Excuse me. Excuse me again. Forgot to turn their open sign off. It's hilarious. But who are you? Who are you? Past the self image, past the groupthink, past the familial routes. Who are you? What do you want to achieve in this world? Who are you? And how do you want to be seen in this broad, big world? Who are you that's watching, that's waiting, that's wishing for an opportunity? When that very opportunity is waiting for you to decide, waiting for you to look in the mirror and ask very quietly, very truthfully, who am I? Who am I past the status, past the hopeful, wishful thinking, past the daydreaming, past the thinking, past the laughter and the talking, and the thinking and the thinking, and the wandering mind? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? It's very easy to get caught up in what we don't want, what we don't like, and what we don't wish. That we lose sight of what we do want in our lives, what we hold sacred, and where we want to go. But remember that sometimes letting go and just releasing and not holding back anymore is the very thing that allows us to relax and move forward and receive. I'm in a mode to receive. I'm in a mode to understand myself fully. I'm in a mode to not have my control over everything. And the more times I'm triggered and the more times that I'm set back, the more times I get to analyze and ask myself, who am I? And what am I still holding on to? And then after that, you can follow up and ask yourself, why am I still holding on to this so tightly? Why is it that I feel like I can't let go of it? If you feel like you're there, I no longer feel like I'm there. But sometimes you need a reminder. And you need a refresher to ask yourself, why is it that I feel so attached to this thing? But in reality, you are that very thing. You are that connection. You are that gust of wind. You are that lightning storm striking down. You are that blinking light. You are what you see and what you seek. You are that very thing. You are the drop of sunshine, just like you are the encompassing shade. You are the light just as much as you are the dark. You are that very thing. You are. More lightning glow bugs. I turn around because I think that's someone's driveway. It didn't, but the message still stands. I finally gotten away from those pesky mosquitoes. But, just ask yourself, hey, I've gotten this far in life. What do I value the most? What do I hold sacred? And what am I still attached to that I don't feel like I could let go? I feel like the last thing that I'm still holding on to is people's approval. And like I said in the beginning of this, their projection. And I'm starting to focus more of my energy to myself. And instead of commanding or telling people how they should live or judging them or criticizing them, I'm going to just give a word of caution and proceed the rest of that energy to myself. I'm not going to harp on someone who wants to eat multiple servings in one sitting or not drink enough water in the day or not exercise for 30 minutes a day. I'm going to do that myself. I'm going to keep on top of my water intake. I'm going to walk around the entire neighborhood. I'm going to make sure I eat dark greens and fruits in my diet, in my day. And I'm going to watch my sugar intake. That's what I'm going to do. I need to be watching my salt intake a lot more closely and balance it with tea or something else that will soak up those spices. In this reflection, I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sweaty and I've had a lot of salty foods today, so I need to rehydrate. But anyway, ask yourself, what do you hold true? What is valuable to you? And then sit in that knowing and remain in a state of mind that nothing is attached to you. And you hold no possessions. And you hold no attachments because you're free. And you realize that you're already one with everything. And the more you release, the more that you can take in and hold on to. And receive with gratitude instead of clutching and feeling like things are out of your grasp. Remember to stay in the light as much as you can, but balance out. When it turns to darkness, balance that back out and use it to fuel you back to the light. Ashe. Take care of yourself.